Hey everybody, it's Dan back for another episode of Gematria today. And I feel every episode I got to talk about what is Gematria, or probably pronounced Gematria. And this is from Wikipedia. And this, according to Wikipedia, it's an alphanumeric code of assigning a numerical value to a name, word, or phrase based on its letters. A single word can yield multiple values depending on the cipher used. Gematria originated as an Assyrio-Babylonian/Greek system of alphanumeric code or cipher that was later adopted into Jewish culture. Similar systems have been used in other languages and cultures. Earlier, the Greek isopsephy and later derived from or inspired by Hebrew gematria, Arabic abjad numerals, and English gematria. A well-known example of Hebrew gematria is the word chai, which means alive, which is comprised of two letters that, using the assignments in the Mispar Gadol table shown below, add up to 18. This has made 18 a lucky number among Jewish people. Gifts of money in multiples of 18 are very popular. So let's look at the chart that they have here. Aleph is 1, Bet is 2, Gimel 3. As you can see, this is the Hebrew alphabet, or I don't know anything about the Hebrew alphabet, but each number represents a glyph and a numeral, or a number. So I've been following the work of Zachary K. Hubbard, and somebody set this up for him. This guy named Derek set up a calculator, a Gematrinator calculator. And these are the four base ciphers. And this is the English ordinal, where A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, Z is 26. So the position of the alphabet. So you write out A, it's 1, right? In reverse, it's 26. Reduction just means, reverse reduction means you add these two together into a single digit. So A becomes the 26th letter of the alphabet in reverse, and Z becomes the 26th when it's forward, English ordinal forward. So it's the exact reverse. So here's the calculator. There's other tools on the calculator. There's something called date duration, and you can find out the date numerology for an event, because this is about days on the calendar. The calendar created under Pope Gregory's authority. This isn't the same calendar we've had. There's something called the Julian calendar that was before that. There's other calendars. Why do we go by this calendar? It's a very good question. It tells you the day of the year. Today is the October 18th, would be the 291st day of the year. We have 74 days remaining. 74, a very important number in this practice. Also, if you go under tools, there's something called number properties, and you can find out if a number is a Fibonacci number. Fibonacci is the circle of life. Like if you cut a tree down, you see those tree rings. That's what Fibonacci is. Triangular number is all the numbers add up to that number, and a prime number. So these are very interesting numbers. Like say the number 55. It's not prime, but it's a Fibonacci number, and it's a triangular number. So that makes it a very special number in that regard. Triangular number is if you count from 1 to 10, if you add up all the numbers from 1 to 10, it equals 55. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 equals 55. That's what that is. So that's very handy. You can see how special a number might be. Let's get back to the calculator here. Just for any word or phrase that you put in, you put your name in. My name's Dan, right? 19 in English ordinal, where D is the fourth letter of the alphabet, A is the first, and N is the 14. You just simply add these up. That's all we're doing. It's their place in the alphabet, and then you add them up. The reduction just means that instead of n being 14, n is 5. N is reduced to 5 in numerology. And my name adds to 10. And then in reverse, D is 23, A is 26th letter from reverse, and N is 13, and you add it up at 62 and 17. And the other day, it was funny, I was hanging out with this guy named Bob, and we have like the same exact gematria. Look at that. And I found that out later, so that was kind of interesting. So let's get into the numbers a little bit. Like, you could just look at this Chicago teacher strike. This code is all over the place. It's in the mainstream, CNN. It's all over CNN. It's all over the mainstream. Anything that is in the mainstream is coded because the people who run these organizations, who run these news organizations, there's about 6 corporations that run the media, and they're Kabbalists. And Kabbalah basically is about your ascension to godhood. And Gematria, there's a book called the Sefer Yetzirah, or the Book of Formation. Let's see if we can find it here. Book of Formation. So the Book of Formation, or the Sefer Yetzirah, is attributed to Rabbi Akiba ben Joseph. They're also saying that Abraham had a role in it. And it talks about how it's the creation story. And very old story, in the Bible, Genesis, what happened. And then that's the Old Testament Bible, the Jewish Bible, the Torah. How God came down and God created the world in 7 days and all that kind of stuff. And he did it through his words, let there be light, let there be sound, let there be this, let there be that. Well, in the Sefer Yetzirah, the Kabbalist version, it says that God merged the number and the letter and the word. So that's why we have numbers are letters and letters are words, like Bob, like God. God, 26. 26 is the God number. G is 7, O is 15, D is 4. You ever wonder why there's 26 letters in the alphabet? Well, it has to do with God. It has to do with gematria. There's 206 bones in the human body, or 26. The human body, probably gone over this before, but it's worth a second look. So at birth, you have 270 bones, but the human skeleton of an adult consists of around 206 bones. Or now they say 206 to 208. And bones in gematria, bones is 26. Isn't that interesting? Also 55 like God, 19 like something else. And letter is also 26. So letters make up words, just like bones make up the skeleton. Skeleton is 101. And if you press on 101 here, it'll give you the value, and it's the 26th prime. So another 26, referring to God, right? And there's 26 letters in the alphabet. There's bones equals 26, skeleton 101, the 26th prime. Letters are the bones of a word, So anyway, there's this teacher strike in Chicago. And you have to laugh when you know this code. Chicago strike, and it's updated at 9:37. Well, check this out. Chicago, right in Chicago, and it equals 37, right? And the story was updated at 9:37. Wow. everything. And strike, guess what strike equals? Well, it's something called the single reduction cipher, or the S exception. So S can be reduced twice. S in this single reduction cipher is 10, because S normally is the 19th letter of the alphabet. You notice here, S is the 19th letter of the alphabet. But 1 plus 9 is 10. And further reduced, S is 1. So anyway, in this cipher, strike is 37, just like Chicago, just like the time it was updated. You know, and you could go further in the article to find out more things about what's going on, like when did the strike start and all this stuff. But that's kind of enough to know that this is coded, you know. Chicago, teacher strike, negotiations, right? So anyway, I have a blog called danielthelionsden.blogspot.com. I use Gematria to reveal the false reality in which we live in. And I saw this, Energy Secretary Rick Perry to resign. And sometimes reading the articles helps you get an idea of what they're talking about, and also just by reading some of them, you can realize how crazy this story is. And it's just that, it's a story. I mean, think about who owns the major media corporations, and what incentive do they have to tell the truth? They're here to sell products. They're here, to advance their agenda, their corporate agenda. They don't care about the people. So anyway, Secretary of Energy Rick Perry plans to leave his position at the end of the year. President Trump confirmed to reporters Thursday in Fort Worth, Texas. Why was he in Fort Worth, Texas? I'll show you that in a minute. Trump praised Perry and said he already has a replacement in mind. Rick has done a fantastic job, Trump said, but it was time. Trump said that Perry's resignation didn't come as a surprise and that he has considered leaving for 6 months because he's got some very big plans. Perry, who's 69, don't know why they have to tell you that, but now that I know Gematria, I know, is one of Trump's original cabinet members and recently has emerged as a central figure in the impeachment inquiry of Trump. So Perry was part of what was dubbed the Three Amigos, in addition to Gordon Sondland and Kurt Volker, charged with managing the U.S.-Ukraine relationship after the White House removed the core of its Ukraine. Anyway, so the first thing you need to do is find out when these guys were born. This is an article about James Richard Rick Perry. So this is what you can do. Do a simple search for Mr. Perry. Rick Perry. Why is he in the news? Why today? Well, it was actually yesterday. And you can go to Wikipedia, and there he is, born on March 4th, 1950, assumed office on March 2nd. He was the 47th governor of Texas. He was the longest serving governor, one of them. He was elected governor of Texas 3 times, and the 4th governor of Texas to have served 3 or more terms. So, long-serving Texas governor Rick Perry. Let's get into the decode here. So, I was struck by this. He assumed office on March 2nd. From assuming office to his announcement is 137 weeks. And if you write out James Richard Rick Perry with his nickname in there, it equals 137. So, I'll show you that. See, it equals 137. And how I figured out that other part is that he assumed office on March 2nd. You go to date duration. So March 2nd, 2017. And if you look at that, and the story came out on the 17th that he was resigning by the end of the year. If you look at it, it's 137 weeks on the nose. And 137 is a very special number because it is the 33rd prime number. And 33 is a big number in this group because we're talking about Gematria, we're talking about Kabbalah, and who practices it. It's Masonry, merged. Masonry and Kabbalah are hand in hand. Masonry, 33. They're in order. 33, all about secrecy. 33, a number you see around the police. 33, in fact, I saw a police car with a plate that said 330, and in numerology you drop the 0. So I thought that was interesting. Also, 137 is a number of Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. equals, if you spell it right, oh my God, 137 right here. There's a statue of Albert Pike, and he's holding a book called Morals and Dogma, where he talks about Masonry. Albert Pike, a 33rd degree Mason. Albert Pike. He was a Mason. He was a Confederate war general too, and he has a statue in Washington, D.C. Born same birthday as me, by the way. Anyway, he was a Freemason, a 33rd degree Freemason, and he wrote a book called Morals and Dogma. And if you write out morals and dogma, it equals 137 as well. Also notice the 56, just like Washington, D.C., and the 65 with the reduction. So 137, very special number. You see it a lot, and they code it in their stories a lot. So let's get back to the decode here. They also said 959 days. And 959, if you go to this same calculator, because I was like, what's so special about 959? 959 is 137 times 7. So I had to laugh. So it was 100. So 959 days later, they announced his resignation. Right? This happens a lot. 137 days, 137 weeks after assuming office, 959 days. He's the Secretary of Energy. Secretary of Energy. It's a great little calculator. Secretary of Energy, 209. And that is interesting because 209 is like 29. He announced on the 290th day of the year, 290 is like 29, October 17th, if you can just go and verify this. October 17th is the 290th day of the year, 75 days remain. See that? So he's the Secretary of Energy, announcing on that day. And then why Fort Worth, Texas, and resignation have this overlap. So Fort Worth, Fort Worth, Texas, right? And they announced his resignation down there. Could have announced it in Washington. But look at resignation in Fort Worth, Texas. 68, resignation 68, Fort Worth, Texas 68. Resignation 166, Fort Worth, Texas 166. And also this in the reverse reduction cipher, resignation is 67, Fort Worth, Texas is 76, the reflection of. This is an old Jewish occult practice, and they also read from right to left. No, wait, we read from left to right, and they read from right to left. So numbers are good forward and backward. So 67 is just the same thing as 76. That's a long-winded explanation of that. So I thought that was interesting. So he's 69 years old, and the 47th governor of Texas, they love that number. Texas 69. He's from Texas. You know, why would they announce that he's 69? Because he's from Texas, and they announced it in Texas. And it was on a day with 66 numerology. So very simply, 10 plus 17 is 27, plus 19 is 46, plus 20, because we're in the year 2019, right? That equals 66. That's how you find the day numerology or the life lesson number. This is straight out of numerology. Gematria or Gematria is numerology. It's the study of letters and numbers and words. It's a fascinating study. So let's look at some of the quotes here. I didn't really look at them, but he's got some very big plans, right? Okay, what does that equal? So this 132 number is interesting because when you 33 times 4 is 132. If you can find a calculator, I'll show you that. So you just don't take my word for it. So 33 times 4 equals 132, and that's their number. You know, their number is 33. So he's got some very big plans. There's also a masonry number, masonry 105. He's got some big plans, huh? What's he going to be doing? I don't know. So if you write out his name, what was it, Perry? Perry. Rick Perry. Also got a connection to 33, because if you're, it's 60, and if you write out 33, it equals 60. Also, you notice it equals 66. This was on a day of 66 numerology. You know, talking about Rick Perry, the original cabinet members, born on March 4th. So we didn't do from his birthday. We could do that. So from his birthday to the story is 227 days. And 227, if you divide, 7 into 22, you get 3.14. So the approximation of pi all has to do with circles and cycles and everything. 227 is also the 49th prime number. And that's interesting because Washington, and this is what's going on, we're talking about Washington, D.C. Washington is 49. He's no longer the energy secretary. What is energy? Energy 74, big number. Also connected to Trump. Trump also 88, like energy, also 29. So look at that. Energy 74, Trump 47, the reflection thereof. Also 25, so Trump should be doing some more stuff about energy. Anyway, so that's that story. And they do it all by this code. So I saw this about Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren, and I'll stop here. Wait, where's the CNN? Elizabeth Warren. See if I can find it. Oh yeah, here it is. So it's official. Elizabeth Warren is our new Democratic 2020 frontrunner. I think she's going to be the Democratic candidate. This was a story from yesterday. And if I could scroll down. Oh boy. And be quiet. And so it's funny, they say this is the 22nd edition of our power rankings of Democrats most likely to get their party's presidential nomination in 2020. Notice the 2-2 here, 2-2 here, and 2-2 here. Zeros don't count. So the story says within the first 10 minutes of Tuesday's fourth presidential debate, you could tell something fundamental had changed in the race. Elizabeth Warren is the new frontrunner. The Massachusetts senator was attacked from all sides from the get-go on how she planned to fund her Medicare for All plan, on the punitive nature of her policy solutions, and on her supposed claims to be the only one in the field who has bold ideas, right? So here they have the rankings, just like, I don't know, like football, who's number one, like in your number one song, like, it's a horse race, right? They talk about this all the time. Look, Warren number one, Biden two, Biden's down 1 point, Warren's up 1 point. Look at Cory Booker, he's up 1 point. Amy Klobuchar's up, I never heard of her, up 2 points, right? These are the top 10. I think there are 22 candidates at one time. So let's go to the decode. There's a lot of stuff you could decode. So right away I noticed something. So if you say the front runner and Warren, Elizabeth Warren, Warren 79, and the front runner also 79, also 74. 74 is a big number, and I touched on it, maybe. Gematria, this practice, 74. It's an occult practice, 74. It's about Jewish mysticism, 74. It's about the English language. It encompasses all languages, really. But English is the newest, I think, of the languages. And it's simple. It really is simple. 74, big number. Jesus on the cross, 74. Look at this. Jesus, he was on the cross, 74. He spoke in parables, 74. From the gospel, 74. In fact, his full name, the name they gave him, Jesus Christ, 74. And when is this nation's birthday? July 4th, or 7/4, Independence Day is 74. Could that be any more perfect? I don't think it could be any more perfect than that. Independence Day equals 74, and we celebrate it on 7/4. So that's a little bit of the importance of 74. It's a big number in this practice. So 79 is the 22nd prime. Let's go back to, oops. Let's go all the way back. So 79, and you click on it, it's the 22nd prime. And remember, they're talking, this is the 22nd, what are they saying? The 22nd edition. Yeah, this is the 22nd edition of our power rankings. And this is for the president the nomination in 2020 or 2-2. And I think there were 22 Democrats that were originally in this field. So, so also Elizabeth Warren, if you look her up, she was born on the 22nd. Let's check her out. We'll use Wikipedia, why not? See, she was born on June 22nd, 1949. She's 70 years old. There she is, born Elizabeth Herring. Show you something about Herring. Herring, also 79, just like Warren. Look at Herring and Warren. '79 and 38. The same in the English ordinal. When it hits here, it's interesting, and when it hits twice, it's doubly interesting. It's like, wow, what are the chances of it hitting twice? And sometimes it hits in all 4 ciphers. And then you got something. So anyway, if you just write front runner equals 163. All right, she's the front runner. 163. 163 is the 38th prime. Warren equals 38 right here. Look at that. See, front runner. So there's a link there. That's why she's the front runner. So also Elizabeth Ann Warren, her full name is 196. And just type in Elizabeth Ann Warren is 196, and her full name. Another link for her being the front runner. The front runner equals 196. See that? So she's the front runner. That's why she's the front runner. So also Elizabeth Ann Warren, 290. The story came out on the 290th day of the year. 290, see that? And this is October 17th, right? October 17th, the 290th day of the year. That's why we're talking about Elizabeth Warren. They do everything by this code. And the days on the calendar. So this comes 8 months and 5 days, or 85 before her 71st birthday. And I'll show you that. Elizabeth Warren, born on the 22nd. Oh, I did it the wrong way. Let's do this again then. This is to her next birthday. Her birthday in 2020, right, which would be 71. That's 8 months and 5 days away, or 249 days. And here it'll tell you, what day of the year, October 17th, how many days left, and same with June. She was born on his 174th day. New World Order, 174. It's definitely a New World Order candidate. They all are. I mean, you don't get to this position. I wonder if I can find it. There's a Elizabeth Warren campaign ad. Let's see if I can find it. Maybe it's on YouTube. Elizabeth Warren campaign ad. Oh, here's the corruption one. Yeah, this is good. So check this out. See if you can hear it.
All 3 of my brothers went off to the military. That was their ticket to the middle class. Now me, my dream was to be a teacher. I got a scholarship and went off to school, but dropped out and got married at 19. My second chance was a commuter college that cost $50 a semester. Today, There are fewer paths to America's middle class and even fewer second chances. Service members are targeted by predatory lenders. Students are crushed by debt. Families can't afford childcare. And after generations of discrimination, people of color face an even narrower path to opportunity. When we have a government that works for the rich and the powerful and leaves everyone else behind, it's corruption pure and simple. We must root it out and return our democracy to the people, and yes, I got a plan for that.
Oh, man. Hilarious. Yeah. She's going to root it out. Hilarious. Very slick ad. What is corruption? 59, 58, like Freemasonry. That's who's running things. These secret societies. 58, 59, right there. So anyway, let's get back to this decode here. So Elizabeth Warren equals 85. And this comes 8 months and 5 days before her 71st birthday. Just show you that. 85. Also 167, which is the 39th prime. 39, also about masonry. 39. That's what this is about, really. And they're talking the article, and whenever they emphasize something in a story, there's some gematria behind it. So they say Medicare for all. Medicare for all also equals 85, and this is something that she proposed. Medicare for all, 85. See that? And that's something that she proposed. So also I noticed this. She's the Democratic frontrunner, 2020 frontrunner. If you take this, it equals 317. See that? Equals 317. And 317 happens to be the 66th prime number. And keep that in mind because it happened on a day with 66 numerology. The story came out on 10/17, and you add them all together, that equals 66. And she's the Democratic 2020 frontrunner. Also, her maiden name equals 317. Isn't that funny? This is her maiden name, her full maiden name. Equals 317. Look at that. That campaign ad was a minute and one, I noticed. 101, the 26th prime, the God number. Anyway, so 317 there, right? So Democratic 2020 candidate, 2020 frontrunner equals 317, the 66th prime. Her name equals 317, also 196. And 196 is connected to the front runner, right? The front runner equals 196 as well. You know, you couldn't script this any better. Elizabeth Warren, there she is. Assumed office in 2013. Look at all these 13s. January, first month, 1-3-1-3. And if you look into where they were born, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, that's where she's from. If you look into that, that will also have some relationship on this story. Oklahoma City, right? President equals 133. President equals 52. Let me just show you this. President. 133 and 152, just like Oklahoma City. And she's from Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Oklahoma. Did I do that right? 209. Did I spell that right? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. I could just copy and paste it, I guess. Make sure I spelled it correctly. I think I did, but... So, why is that interesting? Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Well, Elizabeth Ann Herring, 106. She was born. That's who she was born as. And she was born in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, 106. And look at, it's also 331, the reflection of 133. Oklahoma City, 133. President, 133, the reflection thereof. Also 83, Warren, 38. She became Elizabeth Warren, Warren 38. See that? The reflection of 80. Warren's also 83. So Warren, Oklahoma City. Anyway, you get the picture. It's kind of a long video, so I'm going to end it right here. Thanks. This is Dan for Gematria Today. I also have a YouTube channel called Numerical Lion. So check me out on YouTube, where I have a bunch of videos, like I think over 70 videos about sports, all kinds of things. What's happening, sports, media, entertainment, politics, it's all the same. If it's on the national stage, they're actors, and that's what it's all about. So thanks so much. Please spread this knowledge of Gematria. Please learn about it.